Good evening, folks. I would like to call this meeting of the Abington Zoning Board of Appeals to order. The time is now 7:02. My name is Richard Peterson. I am the chair of the board and will be presiding over the meeting this evening. The meeting is being recorded for broadcast by Abington Community Access and Media Incorporated. Is anyone else here recording the meeting? Okay. Other members of the board are Robert Manning, Richard Negrelli, Andrew Burbine, and Andrew Leveralt. Andrew Leveralt will not be in attendance tonight, as I understand.
That's correct.
Assisting the board is the zoning enforcement officer, Nick Jenks. All documents must have been submitted to the board prior to tonight's hearing. All other documents that are offered at tonight's meeting will be accepted by the board, but the hearing may be continued to give the board and the public adequate time to review new materials. The first item on the agenda is the meeting minutes for March 12, 2026. I would entertain a motion on the meeting minutes for March 12th.
Let's see what we got.
Quite a few pages. I'll move they be approved. I so second.
All in favor?
Aye.
All right. Is there any correspondence or electronic mail we need to be aware of, Nick? I didn't think there was. All right. Let's see.
Continue.
Yeah, the first item on the agenda is the continued hearing of 190 Washington Realty LLC for a special permit under 175-21B to operate a sober house as a convalescent home and to appeal the December 29th, 2025 cease and desist order issued by the zoning enforcement officer. The property is located at 190 Washington Street on Assessor's Map 9, Lot 48, in the medium-density residential R30 zone. Is anyone here to represent that petitioner?
Andrew Time for 190 Washington.
I just, if you could repeat your name and address for Pam.
Andrew Tyne, 18 Maple Avenue, Barrington, Rhode Island, for the applicant, 190 Washington Realty LLC, for 190 Washington Street, Abington.
Thank you.
Thank you. Nick, did Amy's stuff about this particular petition get shared with the?
Not with the applicant, no.
No, we haven't seen anything. I know the attorney is it Amy, who was here last time. I think it was left. She was going to draft something for the board to consider. And I believe it was along the lines of approving this sober recovery home as a convalescent home with a reasonable accommodation, so it didn't need to be a licensed facility, for 16 or less occupants, and for building code purposes to be an R3 congregate living for 16 or less occupants, non-transient. That's my understanding of the direction things were going, at least from our perspective, what we thought. And I know the board was looking for a fire safety plan. I know Mr. Jenks was also looking for a fire safety plan, and we had an architect prepare that. That's been submitted to the board. There's a written fire safety plan. There's also plans which show, I think, existing conditions and also some proposed changes. And the most significant change that is also in the works is that, the property will be fitted with a sprinkler system, an alarm system, a reporting alarm system. So that's also in the works, but that has to be done over a longer time frame, given it's a substantial improvement.
Okay, thank you. Do we have any questions directly for the petitioner's attorney?
I just got a question for the building. Would this be in, how many people, 16
Or less.
or less?
16 is what was proposed.
And maybe the fire department can help out here. Do they need fire escapes on the second floor, by any chance? Is that any part of this?
I mean, they get two egresses from the home.
But for the second floor with all those bedrooms?
I mean, the windows need to be rescue openings, meet the minimum requirements for that. But in my opinion, they don't need fire escapes.
Okay, I'm just checking, because sometimes on boarding houses and stuff like that, or rentals, they have to have them on the second floor.
Yeah, I mean, this will be a sprinkled building too, once it's done.
Okay, I just
Which
want
makes
to
a-
double check on
makes
that.
a
There's just something that
significant
popped into my head.
So I think that's something also that the architect addressed. I think she noted that one window on the second floor needs to be enlarged.
Okay,
Yeah, because they have to be a certain size to be, a perfect size for people to get in and out. And,
Nick, is there anything we should add or put into the record from Amy, or should we just put off on that?
I mean, I think there was one thing I was looking for that isn't listed as condition, and that was just the yearly inspection by myself and the fire department.
Right,
To be honest with you, the convalescent home, that by building code would require the inspection anyways. But similar to the fire alarms and sprinklers, everything like that, I think it'd be good to have it in this decision as well as, just
Okay.
help with enforcement if it was ever necessary.
do the other board members have any questions for Nick or the petitioner's attorney?
No, I do have a concern of the fire department. Could I just ask you a question? I know last time we met, I brought up the sprinkler system because I was a little afraid of having that many units on one floor with that many different people living in the same floor.
correct.
As far as that concerned, I just heard you say that the fire sprinkler system would have to be installed regardless because of the situation.
Correct, yeah.
Are there any other fire safety or precautional issues? Like, does the kitchen have to have a special hood or something like that because it's cooking for so many people? Or is there any other fire conditions we have to worry about that we need to be concerned ourselves with?
Not coiling the sprinkler system is our biggest concern.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's gonna be a monitored system, so we'll have, direct tie-in.
Oh, you will have direct tie?
Yeah.
Okay.
So it'll be a monitored system. So if it goes off, we'll get it activated and we'll know.
And is there a fire hydrant within 500 feet of the building?
I'm sure there is. I'd have to look on the map,
I
but
just-
that area is pretty dense on,
And it's Route 18.
it's Route 18, it's a large main.
Yes, yeah.
Give me
Okay.
one second, I can
That's
tell
fine.
you.
That's the other concern I have. I
He
know
probably
that-
has on his computer.
You'll see there was fire extinguishers proposed in the plan as well.
Okay.
I don't remember in particular, but I would assume there's one in the kitchen,
Yeah, okay. I'm fine with that
to at
then.
least help a little bit with any concerns.
Thank you very much. I appreciate it.
No problem.
Not a problem.
All right, thank you very much.
Thank you.
Is there anyone else from the audience who would like to come up and speak on this matter? Okay, I would,
Motion to pull it back from
Oh,
the,
I just had one
sorry.
question.
okay.
Is it 16? Is that the number, or is that, as far as
Yeah,
occupants?
the architect ran it through based on square footage, found 17. 17 would put them in a very different class code-wise, so I think they're choosing to limit themselves to 16.
Okay. And the life safety plan is okay with the 16?
Yes,
Okay, thanks.
assuming the sprinkler system.
Yes,
The window,
yeah.
the small changes they've noted.
Yeah.
And the
Yeah.
big change of the sprinkler system is
Okay.
installed.
Thanks.
Thank you, Andy. Hearing no other interested parties wanting to speak, would entertain a motion to close the public part of this meeting.
motion to close the public part of this meeting.
Second.
All in favor?
Go ahead.
Okay, board discussion. It would seem like the petitioner has made a fairly substantial effort to address the issues we were concerned with last time. And I would entertain a motion as to what to do with their petition if someone who's feeling their oats here and could do that.
Before we go there, the additional conditions, one was annual inspection by the building department and the fire department.
Fire.
Yes.
So in this decision, either way, I mean, it's going to be cease and desist issues going to disappear, correct? Is that,
That's a question for Nick.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah, I would recommend you deny the appeal of the cease and desist and then approve the special permit. When reading that in, I'd probably read in from the board swiftly finds down
Yeah.
with adding that one condition we discussed, just to make it clear. I know it's all already been discussed, but
Anyone want to take a shot at it?
1 second.
Oh, all right,
you're writing it out.
nice.
please jump in wherever you want to jump in if I get this wrong. On the petition of 190 Washington Realty LLC for a special permit under 175-21B to operate a sober house and a convalescent home to the appeal of the December 29th, 2025 cease and desist issue, which
We should act on those separately,
Yeah, I
Bob.
agree.
we should act on those separately?
Yeah.
Yeah, I think the appeal should probably be addressed first, Stephen.
I agree.
All right,
Okay.
so the cease and desist issue,
Do that second.
Do the cease and desist second?
Yeah, approve the
Okay.
permit first, and then you can.
Gotcha, thank you
Yeah.
very much. I'll start again, just for clarification. On the petition of 190 Washington Street LLC for a special permit under 175-21B to operate a sober house and convalescent home, I motion that we approve with the additional condition that we have yearly building inspections and yearly fire inspections at the property.
Well, I would
I would include the Washington Street on assessor's map.
Yeah, but I would read, as Nick said, on Amy's letter, Bob.
Oh,
See where
I-
it says
I-
the board specifically finds?
Yep.
Read-
Yeah, they're
I
down.
apologize.
I think I'd read it all.
I'd read it all, and then include the yearly fire and.
But that, we would have to accept that first, though. Motion made by, and then accepted by,
Yeah, that's just for the minutes. That's just, the decision letter itself will say that,
okay.
yeah. But,
Do we have a second for Robert's?
well,
No,
first you
I
want,
first got to read the rest
Yeah.
of it into the
Okay.
thing. On the petition for 190 Washington LLC at 100 Newport Avenue, Newtonville, Mass. For the special permit under 175-21B8 to be operate a sober and convalescent home under 190 Washington Street of Abington, Massachusetts.
The board
the
specifically
board
finds.
specifically finds,
The board specifically finds,
see Amy's,
The data and presentation,
right here.
right here.
okay, I'm sorry,
Yeah.
Right there.
yeah. As outlined in
The nine
The nine
parking spaces.
spots.
Oh, you're
Oh, yeah,
talking about
the whole
this up
thing.
here?
Yeah.
Oh,
The
okay.
board specifically finds the
Yeah.
9 parking spaces of property provided adequate parking for the facilities for the sober house and operating under the convalescent home use of the property, that they request use for the property to be desired to the public welfare and rehabilitation center for those in additional recovery, for the operation of the property as a sober house, as an unlicensed convalescent home pursuant to the bylaws of 175-21B, Section 8, the board will condition the project to be granted under special permit under the following, that the project shall at all times meet all relevant requirement under the applicable fire and safety regulations as outlined in the life safety plan produced by the board at the April 9, 2026 public hearing, and that the drafted registration designed professionally within 6 months of the date of the decision of the applicant, it shall install fire sprinkler safety system in the dwelling on the property. And third, no more than 16 individuals shall occupy the dwelling on the property at any given time.
And 4 would be yearly.
And 4, we also
Subject
add a
to-
condition of having yearly building inspection and fire inspections.
Right.
That sound like everything?
Yes.
Okay.
I think so.
All right.
So now
Do
somebody
we
can
have a
second.
second for that motion?
I will second that.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Now, under the,
So we have to read this too?
No,
Have to do
that's,
it?
no, that's just going to be part of the
Okay,
minutes.
very
It's-
fine.
Yeah,
so now we're just going to.
that's all done. Now you should do your second motion, which would be to
To break the appeal?
Deny the appeal.
Deny the appeal?
Yeah.
On the second request for the petition of 190 Washington Street to cease and desist the zoning board enforcement office of the property located at 190 Washington Street on Assessors Map 9 Lot 48 in the medium density residential zone R30. I vote that we approve,
No,
To deny
I
the
vote that we deny that
the appeal.
appeal.
Yeah.
I second the appeal. Good night.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Okay.
My cease and desist will be lifted anyways.
Okay.
Because they'll now have a special permit.
Okay, so technically,
But I think it
just
was a
put it out
valid-
there.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Does that sound good? Everything good? Good
good.
job, Bob.
Yeah.
That's a little confusing.
Okay, the second item listed on our agenda for this evening.
Yes, please.
was a petition of Emily Jacobs for a finding under Mass General Law, Chapter 40A, Section 6, to add a 14 by 18 foot room as part of a
Good luck
fire
now.
reconstruction.
Take care.
Good luck, good luck.
The property is located at 35 Blanchard Terrace on Assessor's Map 58, Lot 139, in the medium-density residential R30 zone. I was informed that the newspaper advertisement required before this meeting and hearing on this property will not be held because that it was not posted in a, the applicant has reapplied for the May 14th, 2026 meeting. So I don't think we need to continue. We just,
No, we're not having
it's not
that
going to
hearing.
consider that
Can we
tonight.
have a conversation, just a small one?
We cannot be discussing it
All
because they
right,
did not
very
have.
good. I just was wondering, just.
Yeah, they didn't have a notice, so we can't have a hearing on it.
Okay, very good. I mean, there's nothing here, though. I mean,
Okay.
Yeah,
The,
they've reapplied for next month.
okay, very good.
The third item on our agenda is the petition of Michael F. Schultz for a finding per Mass General Law, Chapter 48, Section 6, to convert an existing in-law to an accessory dwelling unit. The property is located at 55 Niles Street on Assessor's Map 15, Lot 57, in the medium-density residential R30 zone. Is there anyone here who would like to come up and speak on this matter?
We're good at answering.
Yeah,
That means you're coming to speak.
that's it. Yeah.
Come on down.
Let us know your name.
Name and address, please, for the record. Good for
Good.
you.
Just staring at me.
I can't vote on this one. Can't vote on this one.
Up
You're
and
gonna have to vote on
gone,
this one.
up and gone, as they say.
We miss you retired in Braintree, though.
Huh?
We miss you retired in Braintree. Did you?
I didn't retire, I took the deputy's job. So I
It's
need
good to see you.
I miss you too. On this,
aside.
I can't vote on this one. All right, so I'm gonna step aside.
Anyway,
No-
let us
no-
know your
no
name and
offense.
address.
Stacy Ballerino. I live at 156 Cedar Street in Braintree.
Okay,
Brenna Crow, 361 West Pleasant Street in Rockland.
We're
okay,
business partners and we own the house together.
okay. What do you want to do?
So the house was in really, really, really bad condition when we purchased it, and we're redoing the main house, and it has a in-law in the back that's attached to the garage that's been there for like over 40 years. And we're looking to, I guess, in-laws don't change over with ownership, so
Well,
we're
they-
trying.
They stop at the ownership.
Yeah.
When the
so-
ownership changes, it stops.
Right, and we weren't aware of that, so we're applying for it to become an ADU because we can't apply for, I guess, in-laws in Abington right now. You guys just do the ADUs instead. So we're not looking to change its shape, size, or use, we're just trying to make it an ADU.
Okay. Nothing further.
No,
No changes to the structure.
nope,
No changes to the physical layout of the property.
no.
A question for Nick, is there any direction provided in how to make this kind of a conversion or not? And
I mean, in talking to Amy, I think she might have even mentioned a couple times, not about this project in particular, but these ADUs, if it's non-conforming lot, requires a finding, and a finding should be granted, assuming there's nothing that the board finds substantially more detrimental to the neighborhood. Keeping in mind that the structure isn't being changed and the use allowed by right. I think she thought it might be a high burden to find something detrimental there.
and ADUs do not need, because it's by right, they don't need to do the annual
Letter.
Correct.
letter that they.
Yep,
Yeah,
this would be a by right use for this zoning district. So the only issue they have is just that the lot's non-conforming where the ADU is going.
What makes it non-conforming?
I think the
The setback
frontage
or-
and size, and then the setback of the main structure are all non-conforming.
Okay.
So it's,
Long and lean.
How many bedrooms in this?
In the ADU too,
Two
yeah.
bathrooms?
Just
one.
I have a quick drawing if you'd like it of, I think it was in the application too, but I brought one. One of these pages.
No, I have it, that's, yeah.
Oh, you have it, okay.
Yeah.
It's just a sketch that I did. It's
Yes.
pretty much to scale by centimeter. The only part is where it says garage on this side over here, there's a garage door. We have a picture of the front of it. There's a garage door, and the previous owner had a big oil tank and heating system in the side. We removed it and went to electric heat because none of it worked. so it wasn't any good, but it's not a true carb to pull in there because it goes into it a little bit. So we just wrote the word garage, but this property squares off and over, as you can see in the pictures.
Thanks.
Thank you.
The square footage of the ADU,
706 square feet.
so that's under the
It's under
900
the
limit.
900, right?
Since there's no one else in the room right now from the public, I'm not going to bother asking if anybody wants to speak. So, do the board members have any other questions for them?
Just, I don't know if you know the name, is it predominantly single-family Nile Street, or is it,
I believe so.
Yeah, I didn't try.
I can't think off the top of my head of anything that isn't. I mean, obviously, it's either end of Nile Street, gets pretty commercial pretty quick, but I think the actual street's all singles.
Yeah. Okay. Great. Well, there's no more questions for them or for Nick. I would entertain a motion to close the public part of the hearing and go on to board discussion.
Motion.
The only,
have no
if I can, the only other one thing I have, and I don't know if you guys want it or not, is I did bring a couple of pictures to just show the driveway is wide enough to park and drive past it. And there's plenty of parking up at the top of it. So I know that side of Nile Street has no parking. So we made sure that we brought the pictures to show you, like, we have big cars that you can pass by a car to get in and out.
If you could provide those to Nick, that would be helpful for the record.
Go ahead.
We'll pass them through and then throw them in the file.
I
One
can get
requirement-
great pictures. I had a 30-yard dumpster in the driveway, so sorry.
Another requirement of ADUs is one parking spot. That's regardless if they've never been out, just one parking spot,
Yeah,
which they've shown on the plan, kind of down next to it.
Yep.
Thank you.
thank you.
Let you guys
Okay,
take that as far as those in my file.
Do we have a motion to close?
Motion to close the public hearing?
Second?
Second?
All in favor?
That's it.
Aye.
Thank you.
Aye.
Okay, board discussion. I don't see a reason not to issue this finding. It's just a,
As long as it's not more detrimental to the neighborhood, then
right,
you're
Yep.
fine issuing it, so,
yeah, we should include that in any
motion,
motion.
Yeah, that's specifically what you're finding,
Right.
is that it isn't.
yeah.
Yeah,
So I'll make a motion that let me just read this. On the petition of Michael F. Schultz for finding per Mass General Laws, Chapter 40A, Section 6, to convert the existing in-law to an accessory dwelling unit. The property is located at 55 Nile Street on Assessors Map 15, Lot 57, in the medium-density residential R30 zone, that we issue a finding that the accessory dwelling unit is not substantially more detrimental to the neighborhood.
Second.
all in favor?
Aye.
So their petition is granted.
Yes.
And there'll be a letter to that effect that I'll have to sign probably sometime next week, and it'll start the appeal period for our decision tonight. So, okay. That is the end of our agenda items for the evening. I would entertain a motion to,
Motion to close the meeting.
Second?
all in favor?
Aye.
All right.